Hello everyone, this is Chelsea from Those with Words. Welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to discuss my low spend for 2025, how it's been going, and just general reflections on whether I would want to do this again next year. I did have a video earlier in the year talking about my approach, and so I wanted to make an update video, chat through some of the purchases that I made during this year, and just look back and see how it all went. So as a brief overview of my low spend approach, I was doing a low spend mostly because I am not a no spend person as much as I would love to be. Typically, if I do a no spend, a strict don't buy anything fun or stationery related things throughout the year, then I find that at in-person events like the San Francisco Pen Show, which is local to me, I end up just spending quite a bit there as like a stationery purchase release, I guess. And so instead of doing a strict no spend, my simple approach was a monthly limit of $100 USD. And if I don't spend all of it, I could carry it over to the following month and so on and so forth. And if I overspent and spent more than that, then I wouldn't be able to buy anything that costs, more than the monthly limit until it sort of refilled itself in future months. I'm happy to say that there was only 1 month out of the whole year so far where I did go over by the slightest bit. And then there were a couple other months where I was pretty close, but I didn't go over. And so I did want to share those purchases with you, which you see all around here. So the 1 month that did go over was in June, and there were a couple of things at factor there. So there were some fun purchases at Daiso. Well, this one is more of something I really use on a day-to-day basis. This is their double-sided tape, and I believe this is the 5mm one, which I really like. I love this tape for sticking ephemera into my journal specifically. It makes any kind of ephemera stick to your paper because obviously it's double-sided tape. It's very affordable and it's really good quality. So I always like to restock at Daiso. I happened to be there in June and I just bought a bunch of the 5mm ones because I know they will be used. And then there was this really cute potato pouch. I had been seeing some posts about this at the time. There were potatoes and other vegetables, and I think there might have been, I don't think there was a sweet potato one actually. The sweet potato one might have been the one that got away from me when I was in Japan in 2023, and I love sweet potatoes and potatoes too. But anyways, I saw this and it was so cute, so I did buy one. And it could be a pen case or an ephemera case, or anything that you want it to be. And I did purchase this alongside the double-sided tape refills. So that was one set of purchases in June. Another set of purchases that I made, this was from Miso Paper, and these two items were things that I never thought I would be able to get, because typically the Superior Labor, the year of the snake, or just any other zodiac animal products are exclusive to their Kurashiki in-person shop location. But Miso Paper, which is located in the UK, did a collaboration event with the Superior Labor. I do assume that because they had the official partnership with the Superior Labor, that they had a more maybe convenient way of getting these products. Please don't quote me on that. I don't know, but that's what I assume. And I felt comfortable, purchasing these from Miso Paper because they had worked with TSL just recently before I bought these. So this is the leather tag. I did use this on a traveler's notebook already, so the natural leather is aging really nicely. And then this is the beautiful patch, which I hope to attach to a future camel traveler's notebook, regular size, which I don't have yet, but I'm sort of waiting for the right time to purchase it, or maybe there will be A special edition traveler's notebook I really love in a camel color. Not sure. Can't tell the future, but I would love to put that on at that point. To me, it's less about the 2025 year itself and more about the fact that I am the year of the snake. My zodiac animal is the snake, and so I just wanted to have this with me, and it doesn't really matter if it's 2026 when I put this onto a traveler's notebook personally. So these two were the miso paper purchases, and even though it was just these two items with shipping and everything, and these two items aren't cheap, and so it was a more costly purchase than I realized, but I have no regrets on these because, again, I never thought that I would be able to buy these in the first place, so it was a big treat to be able to buy them. And then Sticky Paper had their anniversary sale, and these are just some of the stickers that I ended up getting from there. It's not all of them, but they're already all in my sticker folders and in various different places because they're being used. So I just wanted to pull out a few within arm's reach. As you can see here, this particular one, a few of them got already used, I think specifically in the San Francisco Pen Show refill. So that's really nice. This sheet is really cute. And I believe all of these, or almost all of them, are from independent artists that Sticky Club partners with, which is one thing I actually really love about Sticky Club just in general. And these ones are so cute. Mushrooms. I definitely use them in recent months because of the autumn season. So I got a bunch of sticker sheets as well as some vinyl stickers back then. And all of that together was in June. And that did go over by the slightest bit. And although I wasn't exactly most thrilled about that, I realized that if I bought maybe one fewer of the 5mm double-sided tape set, I would have made it under the monthly limit. So I realized it wasn't like a huge error on my part, and I just sort of, told myself to be more mindful going forward, but that wasn't the end of the world since it was only over by a couple of dollars. And then there were other months where I did manage to stay under the limit, but got pretty close. One of them, if you can guess, it's pretty obvious, was at the San Francisco Pen Show. So that was at the end of August. So I bought a couple things to try and support brands and small businesses that I really love without really breaking the bank. I only got these assorted stickers from Plotter. And then I went around to various shops and got a few things. I believe I got this retro sheet from Paper Treats. I think I got a small stamp as well, but again, that's tucked away in my stamp drawer already. These two I think I got from Tokubetsu Memory. Yes, this particular seal splash sticker sheet is a collaboration. And then this one I think is a Miss Hoeg sticker sheet, and it comes with two of them. I already used one to decorate a traveler's notebook refill. And then this is a Thousand Skies collaboration sticker sheet with Pinky Elephant. So nothing, too big from each of the booths, but I did want to go around and support a lot of the stationery businesses that made their way out to the show just to say, hey, thank you for coming. I really love what you do. And even if it's just a little bit of money, I wanted to show my support. So those are some of the things that I got. And then my biggest purchase from the pen show ended up being this ink from Bungu Box. It is the sweet potato yellow ink. And if you're familiar with their ink collection, they have the sweet potato yellow as well as the sweet potato purple. And I had been looking for either of them really to buy in person at the show for a long time since they do make their way out here every year. But for some reason, every time I'm at their booth, whether it's the first day or the second day, early access or not, they were always out of these inks or they had not brought them that year as part of their physical inventory. So this year I was actually only able to attend the show for one day. And I had very low expectations on whether or not I would be able to find a sweet potato ink at their booth, but I actually did. I did a double take and actually asked them, you still have the sweet potato yellow ink available? And they're like, yes, we have bottles available for you to buy. So that was really exciting. I know that the Bungu Box inks are available in different US retailers online, but I wanted to purchase it in person just to be able to chat with them for a little bit, and also due to the cheaper price at the show itself because they bring their own inventory. So I was really happy to be able to get this. And on this side it says ink tells more. It's such a beautiful design. This is designed so that you can keep the box, and when you get close to the bottom of the ink bottle, you can use this box and the way it's designed here to tilt it, and that will allow you to really get to the very, very bottom of the ink bottle and use up everything. So it was a really nice experience to be able to buy from them directly, and that was a part of the SF Pen Show buy that got me a little bit close to the $100 limit, but not quite. Another month that I spent close to the limit was in October. So that was when I ordered the Traveler's Company Diary 2026 for the following year. So I think this was around like $35, $40 total. So that was a chunk of the $100 per month limit. And then that same month, I bought these Sakura Crepas Expressionist oil pastels. These are the 25 color kind, and I bought these from my local art store. And I've been playing around with them ever since. I did make a oil pastel printable with them, so I will link that below. I did share that for free on my Substack, and it's just a really fun way for me to play around with them. It's a completely new art medium to me, so I really enjoyed kind of feeling like a kid again with these. I think I did use a kid version of these growing up, hence the name Crepas or Kurepasu if you're Korean and you're familiar with that word. So yeah, I really enjoyed being able to explore these, going to a local art store and asking questions about which ones were right for me because I am a beginner. And I think I made the right call with these, and it's been really fun to play around with them ever since. So those were my October purchases. I think there was one more thing which I don't have with me right now, but I did also buy a sheet of stamps from USPS just to stock up a little bit because I was running out of snail mail stamps. So that was also a purchase I made that month. And then also in November, I did make 2 purchases that got me a little bit close to the limit. One of them is this box right here of the RNF drawing oils, which I got 4 of them and I got to choose which ones I wanted. This was one of my artist dates as part of the Artist's Way. The same local art store that I bought these oil pastels from held an event with an RNF ambassador artist where she was showcasing the RNF drawing oils as well as the pigment sticks, and it was really fascinating to watch. And at the end of it, I did choose to buy 4 drawing oils that I don't have the colors of. So these are basically like oil pastels, but they have a certain formula to them so that they actually dry pretty well, and you don't need to use any other substances on top of your artwork to, you know, secure the oil pastels or anything like that, because typically oil pastels never quite, you know, dry. So I have gold, pewter, and then this is a really light gray, and then this color is a really interesting one called cherry absinthe, and it's almost like a dark green and a little bit of brown and red at the same time. It's a really fascinating color, so I chose to get these 4 in like a small set from that particular event, and I really enjoyed learning more about them, chatting with the person who was showcasing them, and also just meeting other people in the local community who love art. So that was in November, one of my first purchases in November. And then another purchase I made, which I will try to include like some kind of screenshot here because I don't have it in person yet, are a set of zines. And these are going to be mailed to me throughout 2026. And they're by Carolyn Yu. And these are seasonal zines. And the first one, which covers January through March of 2026, is called Winter Practice and basically includes different prompts and reminders and exercises to really gently carry through with your creativity throughout the year. And I love the idea of it being seasonal and timely. And as I finish up The Artist's Way towards the end of this year, I think these zines will be a really great way to just make sure that I, stay creative and keep these routines in my life, but in a gentler way than something like The Artist's Way, which is 12 weeks and there are specific tasks and you have to do artist states every week and things like that. So I thought it would be a good self-reminder throughout the rest of 2026 as we greet the new year. So I did buy myself those zines and they're beautifully made, full color, and I'm really, really excited to receive them in the mail. There were also a couple of months where I spent absolutely no money on stationery or other, fun goodies and such. And there were 4 months so far, so February, March, April, and September. And as you'll notice, 3 of them are towards the beginning of the year, February, March, and April. And I personally find it much easier not to spend fun money towards the beginning of the year. It just doesn't seem as active in terms of new products and things like that. I think also a lot of small businesses are coming off of a really hectic holiday season and are probably gearing up a little bit before the new year stuff really kicks in. There were some things that I was tempted by, some items that I thought of buying but ultimately didn't, and some of those include the Travelers Company Love and Trip collection. Such a gorgeous red velvet color, and I'm really, really happy for a lot of the people, including some of my friends, who did purchase this collection, but I ultimately decided not to because I'm still kind of waiting for my perfect camel traveler's notebook, and I already have many, many traveler's notebooks, and so I didn't necessarily want to add that to my collection, especially with this low spend ongoing for 2025. So I managed to resist the Love and Trip collection. I was also really tempted by the Superior Labor Personal Organizer. It is basically their personal size ring binder. And I've been seeing lots of really inspirational, amazing videos from other YouTube creators who use rings. And although I do have a few plotters, I'm actually using one right now this year as a personal planner, I've never experimented with larger rings. And the Superior Labor Personal Organizer, just the look of everything and knowing that I love products made by the Superior Labor for their quality and attention to detail, that was really tempting as well. But because I'm moving into the horizontal weekly and memo layout from Travelers Company in 2026, it didn't quite make sense for me to try and experiment with that. So that's something I'm keeping at the back of my mind for future years, or if I really, really feel like experimenting and have some extra budget. But for the time being, I am not going to buy that. Another one was a TWSBI Eco in the Serpentine Bronze. I really love the color green. It is my favorite color. I have lots of things in green, including this water bottle right here that I have off to the side. And I really, really love the color and the design and everything, but I have 2 other TWSBI Ecos already that I'm using, and I didn't think I needed to add another one to my collection just yet. So I didn't buy that one either. And so those are some of the things that came into my stationery purchasing purview and I decided not to buy. I'm actually feeling quite happy, even though I am on a low spend and I'm, having to be more mindful of what I buy and I'm thinking about the monthly limit and things like that. But I feel pretty content actually with everything that I bought and everything that I already have. So I don't necessarily feel like, if I spent more money throughout the year, would I have been more satisfied? And I don't really think so. So I think this particular attempt at a low spend has been working out really well for me. What's been really helping to hold myself up to this low spend is the lack of social media use. I haven't been as active on platforms like Instagram this past year, and I think that has really helped with the low spend because more naturally I'm just less aware of the new things that are coming out, what other people are buying. Limited edition products are everywhere and I'm just not aware of them. So yeah, I mean, there are tons of beautiful and pretty things coming out, and I'm really excited for everyone who is buying them and enjoying them. But in my personal low spend journey, it's been helpful to stay away from social media just a little bit to keep the temptations at bay. I think I do want to keep a similar practice next year. I haven't really decided if I'm going to go with this particular same limit of $100 USD per month or if I want to go even lower, because sometimes I found that the limit was a little high, like it would let me have a little more wiggle room, if that makes sense. I did say earlier in my approach when I was explaining it that if I didn't spend the $100 limit, that I could carry it over to the following month. I will say that I haven't really needed to spend that extra rollover in any way, shape, or form. So I've been able to just strictly stay under $100 a month every month without needing to dip into any rollover amounts, with the exception of that 1 month where I did go over by like a few dollars. So maybe in 2026 I can go even lower than that and challenge myself to really use what I have in my collection. Not really sure yet. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet, but overall, I think it's been a really fruitful exercise for me personally to just really think about what I'm buying. And it's made me pause a lot more before adding things to my cart and checking out. So a lot of times, even if something seems limited or not as widely available, I don't really make as many impulsive purchases because I just think, what about my low spend limit? So I leave it there for a couple of days, really think through it. And then oftentimes by the end of the week, I don't really think about it anymore and I am not buying it. So those are some things that I've found are I'm just being naturally a little bit more mindful because of the low spend limit. And it has really helped me reframe my thinking around stationery purchases. And please keep in mind, I should have probably put this at the beginning, but as a quick disclaimer, I am somebody who has been buying and using stationery as a big hobby of mine for almost a decade now. So just please keep in mind that I have a lot of stationery already. I have so many things that I could be using, which is the biggest reason why I started this low spend in the first place. There are some things that I do want to be careful of in 2026, especially if I set that lower limit, because I believe it is Travelers Company's 20th anniversary next year, and I'm sure they're going to do something really cool. And I love using my Traveler's Notebook. This is the one I'm using right now for memory keeping and ephemera. So that's something I need to be mindful of because, like I said, I would love to get one more Camel Traveler's Notebook to place this patch on. So need to think through what that's going to be like. And then I do have a budget set aside already. This was since beginning of this year. I am currently on a wait list with Bokumondo for a fountain pen, a custom fountain pen, and I have no idea when it will be my turn on the wait list. So we'll see if that's even going to be in 2026 because they tend to have a very long wait list time frame for their amazing work. So we'll see. I don't know if that's going to come around, but if it does, then I will have to pay for that, which I have thankfully already set aside before I put myself on the wait list. So that shouldn't impact my overall budgeting or anything like that, but it will look very drastic when it comes to like my monthly spend and how it will measure up against a potentially lower monthly limit. So if you have made it all the way here, thank you so much for being here. I rambled on and on about my low spend, and again, it's been an interesting journey for me, but I think it has been a really good one. So I'm really glad that I attempted this and have managed so far. Let me know below if you are a no spend, low spend person, or if you're just like, I'm getting into stationery and I want to try everything and it's been really fun for me and I don't have a spending limit, which is also really awesome. I have some other really good friends who don't really do low spend ever, and I think that totally works for them and I'm really happy for them. It actually, makes me really happy to see other people getting stationery and really, really enjoying it. So yeah, just let me know if you would ever try something like this now or in the future. And I hope you enjoyed listening to my thought process, seeing some of the fun things that I did end up getting this year. And I hope to see you again in the next video. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.